So today we're going to do a quick review on 3.2 talking about the intercepts, the x and the y intercepts. Usually finding the intercept is really nice when you have the equation is written in what we call the standard form. So the equation is written as ax plus by equals c. C is a constant, b is a constant or a coefficient, and a is a coefficient. A and b both cannot be zero. And also, A must be considered positive, must be a positive number to be considered in standard form. So, if I wanted to find the x-intercept, then I would let y equal 0, and then I solve for x. If I want to find the y-intercept, then I let x be 0, and I solve for y. So let's look at this first example. It says, find the intercepts, then graph the equation, negative 7x minus 2y equals 42. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this equation, minus 7x minus 2y equals 42. You're going to substitute in, to find the x-intercept, you're going to substitute y for 0. So I'm going to write minus 7x, substitute in 0 for y, and I'm going to solve now for x. This becomes 0. A number times 0 is 0, right? So that leaves you with negative 7x equals 42. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 7 so that I can get a positive 1x here. Positive divided by negative is negative. 7 goes into 42 6 times. Now, you are not done here. If you leave your answer like this, it would be incorrect because it says find the intercepts. Well, intercepts are points. So you must write your answer as a point. So if x is negative 6, then y, we said, was 0, right? That's what we started with. This is the x-intercept. Okay, negative 6, 0. Now we want to find the y-intercept. Again, you take the original equation, and we're going to let x this time be 0. And we're going to solve for y. Okay, so this is 0, so I get negative 2y equals 42. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And I get y equals a negative 21. So my y-intercept, I'm just going to write it this way. When x is 0, then y is a negative 21. Excuse me, I'm have a cold, so it's throat doesn't want to work today. Okay, so now we're ready. We have all you need is 2 points, right, to graph the equation of a line. So now that we have our 2 points, we have our x-intercept and our y-intercept. Now remember, the x-intercept, let me just show you here. The x-intercept is where the point that crosses the x-axis and the point in which the line crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. So watch what happens when we graph this. I'm going to go ahead and move this up, but I want us to be able to still see our points here. All right, so here I have my graph. All right. Now, remember, you got to choose your values when graphing, right? And the highest absolute value here is 21. Well, that's a lot. If I count this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See, I'm at 13. I'm all the way down here. I've ran out of paper. And I needed to go to 21. So when you've chosen that, that helps you know like how long to make your graph. If this happens, I could make this as 5, 10, 15, 20, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I could do that. Or I could count by twos. I could make each unit, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I could go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I'm counting by twos. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. You just have to indicate what it is how you decided to mark each unit. So this would be negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 10, negative 12, negative 14, negative 16, negative 18, negative 20, negative 22, okay, negative 24. Excuse me. All right. So now that I've kind of got my graph, got it labeled, decided how I want each square unit here to be represented, I can now graph these points. So the first point was negative 6, 0. So I'm going to come over to the x-axis. Negative 6, 0 is right here. So that is the x-intercept, where it intercepts, right? The x-axis. This one is the y-intercept. So I'm going to go to 0, but it's a negative 21, so I'm going to go down to 21. Well, if you notice right here, this is negative 20, and this is negative 22. So negative 21 is going to be halfway in between. And I have now graphed my y-intercept. Once you have your 2 points, then you're ready to take a straight edge like a ruler and draw a line. I was off a little bit, but you get the idea. And then make sure on your line that you label what this equation of this line is by writing that equation. All right, so you write your equation. This is the equation of that line, and I've now graphed my line. Let's look at one more example. Here we go. It says graph x plus 3y equals 0. All right. So, again, I want to find my x-intercept. All right. So when I find my x-intercept, then that means I'm making y 0. Well, this is 0, so x equals 0. So my x-intercept, right, this is my x-intercept, is 0, 0. Take the equation again. I want to find my y-intercept, so I'm going to make x 0. Divide both sides by 3. Y equals 0, because any 0 divided by any number is 0. And this is my y-intercept. All right. Now we got a problem. Looky here. The x-intercept and the y-intercept, they both intercept, or they're both the same point, the origin. So when you end up with the same point, it doesn't always necessarily have to be the origin, but anytime you end up in the intersect at the same point, then you can't draw a line, because you got to have 2 points to draw a line. So that means you're going to have to come up with another point. So if that's the case, you're going to take x plus 3y equals 0, and you're going to choose some value for either x or y. And so in this case, I'm going to say let x equal 6. Okay, so I'm letting x equal 6. Whoops. And I'm going to find out what y is. So I'm going to substitute in 6 here, and I'm going to substitute. Now I'm going to solve. Subtract 6 from both sides. So I get 3y equals a negative 6. I need to divide both sides by 3. And so then I get y equals, and I'm going to just erase this so that it comes down and looks a little neater. So we get y equals negative 6 divided by 3 is a negative 2. Okay, so this next point that we did, we said we let x is 6, so then the y became negative 2. So here's our second point. So we have the origin and then this point here. We're ready to graph. So we're going to take our graph, right? Our first point, remember, was the origin, 0, 0. And our last point was 6, negative 2. So that means I'm going to go over 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 2. So that is my 6, -2. I'm ready to take a straight edge, and I'm going to, with my straight edge, draw a line. And then you're going to write your equation. This is the equation: x plus 3y equals 0. And we've now graphed it.